so our very last thing for today is about the social studies extended response. So I struggled with making a new one or what to do with this, but I took the one from the GED testing service guide. And I strongly encourage you, if you haven't done this yet, in the email that came out was to look at the extended response guide. Did people have a chance to kind of look at that?
Interesting. AP grading, where what's worth something. They don't even know what they're looking for.
Right. So this guide has a question, and then it has actual student responses to the question and how they would be graded. And for me, actually, it was a little comforting because, you know, it's a 25-minute writing, and they're grading it as a first draft. In 25 minutes, the students have to read something much longer than this because I excerpted it here. They have to organize their thoughts and they have to write it. So they're not looking for, you know, the senior thesis on the enduring issue. But they are asked, well, let's go through it and see for people that didn't know it. So the excerpt raises an enduring issue. And I won't read it, you can read it. I hope everyone can see it. It's a quote from Thomas Jefferson from 1801. And then a document appears, and the document is not here, but it's a 1943 letter to the editor about the Supreme Court's ruling in West Virginia State Board of Education versus Barnett. So notice it's not the case itself, it's someone writing a letter to the editor about the case. And the ruling said it was unconstitutional for West Virginia to require students to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. And then the students are told to develop an argument showing how the author's position reflects the enduring issue in the excerpt, then incorporate relevant and specific evidence from the excerpt, the letter, and here is the hard thing. It's all hard. The thing that kills me. And your own knowledge of the enduring issue and the circumstances surrounding the case to support your analysis. Now, people will have different opinions on this, but okay, you don't have to do this part to get points. This is a little different than the old test. I won't go through the whole thing now, but there are 4 points on the social studies, which are then doubled. You can get this all in the extended response guide. There are 2 points for relating the content, basically relating the enduring issue to the letter and putting in some of your own background knowledge. If you don't put any background knowledge at all and you do the rest, you still get 1 point. So instead of getting 4 points, you get 3 points, and it all goes into your overall number of points you get on the test. Okay, so this, you know, they could get lucky. They might get lucky, they might not get lucky. You don't know. But the rest of it, they should probably be able to do. So we're running a little short on time, but let me see what the next. Okay, so go back for a second, sorry. Does anybody want to tell us what the enduring issue is in that quote?
It's a vehicle collision issue.
Okay. What are you getting from the quote rather than the issue in the case?
Majority, minority.
The majority rights versus the minority rights. Okay? So that is the enduring issue. And then it's reflected in the case. How? Right. Not everyone wants to do what? Say the Pledge of Allegiance. And that, of course, is where the freedom of religion comes in, because the people didn't want to recite. And you may need to know that from background knowledge. The students may or may not get that. But hopefully, I mean, this is the majority versus minority rights is a separate, its own subtopic. So some of these are spelled out. It's a big deal for the
There's
test.
a really fascinating historical perspective. In 1943, you have Nazi Germany and pre-World War II and World War II sensibilities about you want patriotism and you want nationalism, but how much of it do you want? And that's just really an interesting
And Elizabeth, okay, so there were students in the examples that got that,
Really?
and they put it in. So that's what they're looking for, something like that for your knowledge of the circumstances surrounding the case. That this was, so if the students happen to know, they catch the 1943, they know about World War II, you know, some of them they're going to get, and some of them they're not. Some of them I've seen are with Vietnam War. But you can practice these through your units. So imagine a question which had, I think I said this before, the declaration, the quote from the declaration, and then had a part of Attorney General Holder's letter, or a part of Benjamin Banneker's letter to Thomas Jefferson. And you can practice these with the students. So let's look at the next slide. So we just talked about this a little bit, but what topics might you include in a course designed to prepare students to discuss the enduring issue raised in that quote? Just take a minute to think about if the issue is, the enduring issue you want them to know about is majority versus minority rights. Okay? What comes up with you from history that you might include that's happened in U.S. history or government? And then, what contemporary issues might you include in your curriculum? And if you know, what primary source documents would you read? Now, I know you have nothing to research here right now, but what comes up, especially in the, what historical topics might you include for majority versus minority, and what are some contemporary issues you could wrap up at the end? Let me give everybody a chance to think and even talk a little bit at your table, and then we'll hear some ideas. And then the bonus question if you get bored, for our high-level learners who know the answer already.